नमस्ते
सर नमस्कारम सर।
Yeah.
डॉक्टर अंधेरू आईकास के अंदर इनको इंट्रोडक्शन देने के लिए मैं नहीं समझता हूँ कि इसकी कोई जरूरत है, because everyone of us has been very fortunate to have heard him. The P1 students or those who probably have not, for them he's been our COE for a long time and he set the examination pattern absolutely fine and fit. I'll be sharing your screen, sir. Kindly wait, I'll be sharing your screen, sir. 30 seconds, sir.
Anjali sir, there's too much of background noise at your end.
Background noise कहीं से आ रहा है सर?
हाँ, बैकग्राउंड नॉइस आ रहा है, बहुत बैकग्राउंड नॉइस।
फैन बंद करो।
Somebody, kindly everybody go mute. ये आप ही का है सर, मुझे लगता है।
Sir, the background noise was at Anjali sir's end only.
Now it is gone.
Yes, sir. Now perfect. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Echo
It is gone. Background noise is gone now. It is very clear now.
Fine, sir.
चलिए स्टार्ट कर लीजिए। स्टार्ट करूं?
प्लीज सर, प्लीज। और आपके लिए कोई समय सीमा नहीं है सर, आप जितना समय ले सकते हैं।
मैं ज्यादा से ज्यादा 30-35 मिनट्स लेता हूँ। थोड़ा सा our previous speakers Hitesh and other things, they spoke about our nakshatras. I'll just touch 5 minutes about the basics, then come to the marriage, then annual horoscopy and the relevance of various nakshatras into the marriage system. Okay, now I would like to state first, number one, the entire origin of universe came into existence with a big bang around 13.8 billion years ago. 0.8 billion years ago, your universe came into existence. That we have a parallel in our Vedas, Vedangas, Upanishads, and Puranas, Upapuranas, that the Almighty Lord Vishnu has created the entire universe in the form of a garland in his neck. Each bed of his garland is one universe. So a concept has been emanated our Hindu ancient astronomical text, multi-universe concept. So there are two things. One is the present concept, as far the modern astronomical literature is concerned, came into existence around 13.8 billion years ago with a big explosion. Same thing parallel we see in our Vedas, Vedangas, that this has come through an explosion. Heat is the primary cause. In the Big Bang also it is the heat. Now after almost 3 lakh billion years, the nuclear resynthesis has been taking place. After nuclear resynthesis, I don't want to show the marriage PPT as of now, just wait. I'll just take 5 minutes to finish off the astronomical concept, then come to the marriage. Then 3 lakh billion years, about 3 lakh billion years after the Big Bang, nuclear resynthesis has been taking place and molecules have been formed. These molecules, these ions, these basic things are the basic raw material for the development of the universe. That is called as dark age. That's why we compare our entire universe with the Lord Krishna, darkness, sky blue. Darkness is one concept which is parallelly you can see in your Vedas, Vedangas, Puranas, which is relevant in your ancient text also. This one concept. Later to it, these have been formed basically basic nuclear clouds. This from the basic nuclear clouds, your galaxies have been formed. From galaxies, you get the primary infusion of nakshatras. Nakshatras, 1,000 million nakshatras are there. 200 billion galaxies in the known system. Out of 200 billion galaxies, Akashaganga or Milky Way is our mother galaxy, is the galaxy which exists among us the other galaxies. In this particular galaxy, there are 1,000 millions of stars available. 1,000 millions of stars means sun is one star. Around sun, we are the 9 planets revolving around, 8 or 9 planets revolving around, and Earth is the third planet which has the life. From here, our intellectual people, our Maharishis, our ancient Shis, has seen the cosmos and divided the entire universe into 12 segments for the convenience of our understanding. That is from Ashwini, Bharani, 27 nakshatras. Before that, there are 12 segments which are Rashis. That is Aries, Taurus to Pisces. These 12 signs have been further divided into 27 constellations for our convenience. The thousand millions of stars available in a particular segment, but the known stars have been drawn by an artistic figure and given the name Aries, that is sign Aries, then Taurus, Leo, like that all the 12 segments have been given. These 12 segments are further divided into 27 nakshatras. This is the astronomical origin of nakshatras. Astronomical origin of nakshatras. These nakshatras, over a period of time, our ancient Maharishis seen and try to codify those influences which are coming out and with mixing with planets and influencing the living beings on the earth. Living beings means including human beings, including plants, including other species. The natural astronomical vibrations, astronomical influences coming and drawing and affecting the people on the earth, both mundane and non-mundane, have been codified in a systematic way by our ancient Maharishis. That is what is called, what we see is Jyotish Shastra. Jyotish Shastra initial concepts have come from there. As a human intellectual beings, we have codified those things into various laws. And we have today so many systems, natal horoscopy, Gemini horoscopy, and mundane astrology. Like that, so many branches are there. Out of this, more popular is natal horoscopy, which normally talks about the individual events. Whereas mundane events are general events which affect the entire earth, which includes your countries, continents, including India. Each country has been given by our ancient Maharishis a particular sign, a particular segment. From that, they will do the mundane horoscopy with reference to that thing, with reference to that particular country's horoscope, with reference to the ruling party, with reference to the ruling leaders. That's how mundane astrology come into existence. And the greatest expert as of now is B.V. Raman's family, and Gayatri Vasu Madam is expert on mundane astrology, amongst other people who are available in our ICAs. Now, next comes to the more important is the natal horoscopy. Natal horoscopy we are teaching in Indian Council of Astrological Sciences as a basic science. Now, from this basis, today, so many universities have drawn the subject syllabus from Indian Council of Astrological Sciences, right from B.V. Raman down to A.B. Shuklaji, Kapoorji, all other people who are involved in the present system have aided various universities, various colleges to start their MA astrology. And today, more than 16 universities are teaching Jyotishas in various ways, Hindi, English, all regional language. That's how today what we can see, the influence of Jyotishas has come into existence and its relevance. I would like to touch one point here. Jyotish Shastra is very relevant even today. If this is not relevant, any other sciences, it might have lost its significance. No, it has not lost its significance. Today, a lot of intellectual people, scientists, engineers, doctors are studying this basic science. And we, in Indian Council of Astrological Sciences, we have today, as of now, recently we have concluded our examinations. We have 2,500 students, both writing online and offline. This all kudos for all our organization, or all our stalwarts of the Indian Council of Astrological Sciences, including your Noida chapter, including your Bangalore chapter, Calcutta chapter, any chapter you take it. This is the basis under A.B. Shukla guidance of Pradeep Chaturvedi and Senior National Vice Presidents. These are the people who are guiding the Indian Council of Astrological Sciences. This is precisely introductory part. Come back my PPT of marriage. I would like to take 20 minutes or 25 minutes in explaining some of the subtleties of the marriage system of India in general and more specific into the our present context, various aspects. The first slide, please. So see, as far as we are concerned as a human beings, there should be one act, an act which basically guides the entire. I hope that people could able to see the presentation which is being slided there. Uh, Otherwise,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll be explaining it also. Now, this is the primary act as per our country is concerned. All marriages have been governed. The first condition under your 1955 Marriage Act, even today it is relevant, is either party should not have a surviving spouse. Surviving spouse means nobody, either wife or husband, should be surviving or living, so that he is not eligible to take marriage. Okay, that is number one. Number two, either party should be very sound health. Sound health means there should not be any psychological aberrations in the marriage, so that the party should be very sound in undertaking the responsibilities. That's how we can see. The third one is the last point. At the time of the marriage, both should give a valid consent as per the age is concerned. There is a prescribed age is there. That age one has to complete. Then only they are eligible to become get married. That is as far as Hindu Marriage Act. And by and large, these rules over a period of time undergone a change and it's been implemented by Government of India. Next one, when you take the next slide, please. There are few types of marriages which, as per our ancient text, has been given: Brahma marriage, Daiva marriage, Arsha marriage, Prajapatya marriage, Gandharva marriage, Asura marriage, Rakshasa marriage, Paichachika marriage. These are the types of marriages which has been enlisted by our ancient scripture. Out of all these things, Gandharva marriage is more accepted now. The love marriage, come arranged marriage, whatever it is, it has been done. The last two is the Rakshasa marriage, where Ravanasura has done some of the marriage. Paichachika marriage is nothing but rape. It is in this context we should be extremely careful while we are looking at the marriage system in India. So most accepted one is Gandharva marriage as of now, which has been between both boy and girl has to accept each other, then the elders will perform, or elders will see and perform the marriage. Next slide, please. Now, you want to predict marriage time for an individual as an astrologer, as a Jyotirvignan, as a Pandit. So there are broad principles in predicting the time of marriage. One is you need to find out broad hints of the time of the marriage, concept of Mangala dosha, Kuja dosha, timing of marriage, transit principles and time of marriage, importance of annual horoscopy. These are the 5 headings. I am just touching some of the basics of the system for the benefit of the students who are listening. Hope if I am not running through very fast. Next one. Now, when you come to the introduction of the marriage system, role of astrology is very, very important. The role of astrologer as a guiding factor, he should be the person who will be looking various concepts involved in it. What we say, the astrologer should be very peaceful, do his puja, do his all his routine activities. Then you could able to see the panchang. Panchang means the time aspect of the all the 5 components of panchang. You should be very familiar on day-to-day basis. When you can do this thing, it becomes easy for an astrologer when he start predicting. Without going into the Panchang immediately, you will know what are the major transits of that particular day, what are the major transits during that year. He will be knowing it. By knowing this thing, he will able to work out very clearly. Now, this is as far as astrologer is concerned. From the point of astrological considerations, there are 3 basic astrological considerations where an astrologer should look into the issues. First one is one has to see the longevity of the partners. If there is no life, there is no marriage. You are trying to look for the marriage when there is no life to the individuals and the partners, then there is no sanctity of the marriage, whatever you are calculating. So first thing you should be able to see for both male and female whether they have sufficient longevity. If they are crossing beyond short life, that's medium life and long life, then you can able to make it that the couple are going to enjoy the fruits of marriage and could able to give legal progeny to the society. That's number one consideration. Second consideration, when you are looking at the individual horoscope individually for both male and female, one has to see seventh house and eighth house, strength of seventh house, strength of eighth house. Strength of seventh house in both the cases, it will give you the marital happiness, the marital co-happiness together will be dealt by seventh house. Eighth house is basically talks about your longevity. So if these two are comfortably placed in both horoscopes, they are reasonably good. Then the last one, matching of quotas, whatever you are having 36 points in one system and 42 points in other system, whatever it is there, quotas is the last consideration. Now I would like to spend a minute here. Today, most of the astrologers, without knowing much of the depth of the Jyotishas, excluding ICS students, people immediately follow the quotas. कितना marks आया है, उतना marks है तो फटाफट match कर लो भेज दो. Which is totally against the basic consideration of astrological dictums. The reason being, first one has to see the longevity of the partners involved. Then only the next stage will come. Then comes to the strength and the seventh and eighth house. Then comes to the mutual quotas. Even 36 of the 36 people, 17 points are required. Is it clear? Could you able to? Should I continue?
Yes, sir. Gopalakrishnan sir, please silent mute कर लो sir.
मेरा तो म्यूट पे है.
आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए, आप कीजिए सर, आप चलिए.
Yeah. So those people can mute, you can get the bandwidth. So that is the second consideration. Third consideration, quotas will come only at the tertiary level. Sometimes, most of the time, expert astrologers matches the horoscope even with 12 points, provided all other considerations matches. So quotas is only one consideration, is not the sole consideration. My point is, it is not the sole consideration. You have to comprehensively analyze the entire horoscope in its right perspective, from its longevity, from its strength of 7th and 8th house. Then third point is the quotas. This is what I would like to emphasize for the students of ICAS. You should not just jump the conclusion on the quotas itself. Where in the normal society, people will see the quotas and try to match the things, and you will find it very difficult. The marriages or end up in divorces. Okay. Then next slide, please. Now, while you are doing matching of horoscope, there are basic consideration of our house system. Dharma, Ardha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma का मतलब है 157 houses. Ardha का मतलब है 2, 6, 10 houses. Kama means 3, 7, 11. Moksha means 4, 8, 12. इसका you need to have a joint comprehensive analysis. Either Kama means not only sex, it is the entire family related activities, completely encompasses. You should not just jump to your conclusion. It is only sex life one has to see from 3, 7, 11. It is the life which one has to enjoy with reference to the other houses also, because each house is linked with the previous house. That's how your 12 house significance has been illustrated. Okay, next one. Now, when you let role and duties of astrology, I told you already, get up in the morning, attend all calls, pay God, obedience for men's complete analysis. Now, women's observance, why women's observation is being given most important is number one, while an astrologer is getting ready to start his prediction of the day, the nature sends certain signals to him. If he can able to read those signals, he can able to say yes or no to the counseling which is going to happen. I will give you one simple example. For example, if somebody gets puja and done everything and come back and sit on his chair to wait, then if somebody calls, that is the excellent time to get solutions for the prashna or solutions to the issue which you are going to do. Now, alternatively, you are doing something, you are completing your daily duties, either in the bathroom or in somewhere else, and when you get a call, then you should sense it, the one which has come to you, the time when the phone call came, the person who has approached. You should be very careful, very cautious in giving judgment on the horoscope. The reason being, in today's contest, people will come to you with a different motives. Somebody will come with a good motive, somebody will come with a different motive, somebody will be a totally different motive. So those things an astrologer can pick up from omens, which astrologer, an expert astrologer, will pick up and try to guide things. I've seen some of my gurus see if there is a woman, they refuse to answer the question. They refuse to answer the horoscope. They refuse to see it all. That's how the importance of women in the astrological considerations has been involved. Now the next one is, next slide please. When you go for the broad astrological principles, one has to see is basically longevity of the partner, physical and mental compatibility, psychological compatibility, that's moon. From moon you will see the psychological importance, strength of 7th and 8th I have already told you, the malefic factors and its cancellation. So you can see predominantly some malefic factors in the horoscope, but we should not fail to understand what are the antidotes. What's the antidotes? For example, I'll come to the next slide, Kujadosha. In most of the horoscope, Kujadosha will be there. That I will explain to you when it comes to you how it has to be dealt. So these are the broad categories where an astrologer should see from both horoscopes, both boy and girl's horoscope, before come to a conclusion or finally what to do. Next one. As far as marriage is concerned, the first consideration, horoscopic reading is more important. Natal horoscopic reading is more important. Natal horoscopic reading means you should be able to see the entire placement of planets in various houses and planet placement in nakshatras. This makes substantial difference while you are predicting. While you are seeing in a sign, it is a generic, it is a heap, is complete heap. When you make from the heap, you go to nakshatra. It is the jewel which you are going to touch in the entire horoscope. That's how you should be able to see the nakshatra's influence on a particular planet which is going to happen. That is the first consideration. Then your yogas will come, everything will come, which is natal horoscope is a big ocean where you can travel with a small boat through ICAS. You can travel, being able to give you some of the tips, and when you travel, you unravel so many truths in it. That is the ocean of natal horoscopy. Then the next one, then more third or second one is one more big ocean, dasa sequence. That is called directional influence. Directional influence is very essential for an astrologer to find out how the wind in the horoscope is blowing, means how the events are shaping to him in that particular point of time. For example, Dasai normally would take Vimsotri Dasha, 120 years. 120 years, each Mahadasha and Andhra will come. These Mahadashas will tell you, based on the placement of Dasha Lord in the house and in Nakshatra, how this is blowing, how the wind is blowing, second house is blowing, third house is blowing, fourth house, how this wind is blowing, you will able to get the significations from Dasha Lords. Dasha Lord will give you totality of the thing. Means Dasha Lord will tell you in simple terms what is your bank balance. कितना पैसा आपके पास कितना आने वाला है. Total paisa natal horoscope will tell you. Dasha will tell you how much you are going to draw from that bank of your bank. So that's how you can see the last one is transit. Transit is the one you are check you are going to sign and draw the money. Transit principle, especially Jupiter transit, Saturn transit in a particular horoscope, will indicate when that particular results of Mahadasha Lord and Antardasha Lord is going to fructify to the individual. For example, for marriage, you take it. 7th house Lord. 7th house Lord operation means Dasha is operating 7th Lord. When Dasha is operating 7th Lord or Antardasha Lord of 7th Lord is happening, when these are blowing in that particular direction, Saturn, Jupiter has to bless that particular house, that particular Lord. Then it is clear that it is going to happen. We should see the aspect of Saturn, the aspect of Jupiter, primarily on the 7th house and 7th house Lord, either from the moon or from the sun or from the Venus or from the Lagna and the Navamsha. You can club it. You will get a consolidated, very clear picture for you whether this person is running favorably for the marriage or running favorably professional angle or running professionally, running otherwise health wise, everything will be clear. I would like to touch one more point here. Sometimes Sadhasati people say is very bad. Sadhasati is not bad. He is going to make you more wise with a lot of activities coming to your way. It makes you wise and wise. And there are people who got married in Sadhasati also. It can't mean it is going to be always bad. Now, when you are interpreting Sadhasati, you should be able to see good, bad influences. However, in the long run, it makes an individual more wise, more knowledgeable, more resistance power to the individual will be gathered. Next one. I told you then the role of Mahadasha Lord. Mahadasha Lord will tell you how the wind is blowing. Antardasha Lord will tell you when that wind is going to be fructified to you. And Pratyantara Dasha Lord is very important in timing of the marriage. Marriage timing करने के लिए Pratyantara Dasha Lord is the person who triggers you, who gives you check, signed check to you and get your fruits, results coming to you. That's how you can able to say importance of all those things. In Kali Yuga, most of our astrologers, the pundits of our Indian Council of Astrological Sciences will always teach you, you should study up to Prachyantara Dasha. Other Dasha Lords are also important, but at least minimum you should see Prachyantara Dasha Lord before you spell out some specific event from the horoscope. Next one. Now houses in order, I've given you all first and second house, fourth and fifth house, seventh and eighth house, 12th house, importance of Navamsha, role of Rahu Ketu. First and second house, basically first house is physical, second house is family. These two has to be very comfortable to you to get a marriage to happen to you. Fourth house and fifth house, fourth house is Sukhasthan, your basic comfort level individually, your primary education also. Then fifth house is your children, other people, other related activities will come there, your Purva Punya, everything will come. This has to be favorably posited to you when your marriage is going to happen. Then why 12th house? 12th house is the comfort zone of bed. Bed comforts. Bed comforts will be indicated from 12th house. Not only bed comforts, the travel abroad also will be indicated 12th house. Primarily for the marriage purpose, we see 12th house. Then importance of Navasa. This, whatever you have seen Rashi chart. Rashi chart is a heap. Rashi chart is a mountain. So the mountain is subdivided into various divisions, divisional charts. Those are divisional charts. Out of the divisional charts, Navamsa is very important for the marital happiness of the couple, and followed by Saptamamsha, your children, other things will come there itself. So these two divisional charts, while you are analyzing the marriage related activities, has to be seen very carefully by an astrologer, by you, or who want to give you a right prediction. Then role of Rahu Ketu. Why role of Rahu Ketu? Rahu Ketu is always involved in a tricky activities. For example, if Rahu is in first house, it always makes you untraditional marriage. Untraditional marriage means some marriage which you may be doing without the consent of your parents, or you may be doing intercaste marriage or interreligious marriage. Everything Rahu influences. Ketu makes you tensions in your marriage. Marriage time itself, you decide one time, it happens something else. So these two planets, though they are the shadow planets, this has a dominant role in while deciding the characters and caste of the person who is going to be get married, or sagotra, same gotra, different gotras, all will be related. When you want to see the broad consent of the entire marriage, it is intercaste marriage or interreligious marriage, these will give you Very, very good clues. Remember, Rahu association with Lagna, Rahu association with Moon definitely makes you love marriage, intercaste marriage, or something related to uh, extraordinary activities related to the marriage. Remember that thing. Next one. Now here I have come to you concept of Mangal dosha, and most of our astrologers in Indian Council of Astrological Sciences, they say it's not dosha, it is yoga, Mangal yoga. People say whatever results come, ये योग बनता है, योग से एक result आता है. So instead of dosha, we call them Mangal Yoga. Now, Mangal Yoga basically placement of Mars in first house, second house, fourth house, seventh house, and 12th house. So almost more than half of the houses has been covered. When this has been covered, that is first consideration is Mangal dosha is there. Now this has to be analyzed from Lagna as well as Moon as well as Venus. When you make this combination, multiples of it, no horoscope you will find without any Mangal dosh. इसका मतलब ये जिंदगी जीता नहीं, हम लोग जिंदगी जी रहे आराम से चल रहा है अप एंड डाउन. सो बट हाउ मच tensions are there, how much tensions are not there, one has to say. That's why here our ancient classical text says there are certain nullifications for these placements. For example, Mars placed in Lagna, but if it is aspected by Jupiter, if it is with Venus, Mangal dosha is reduced. Like that placement of Mars in 12th house is totally different if that house belongs to his own house or some other friendly house. Like that, there are so many considerations for cancellation, nullification of the Mangal dosha. I advise all the students of our astrological sciences, Indian Council of Astrological Sciences, to see first the cancellations of Mangala dosha. Anecdotes will come later. Once it is cancelled, once the dosha is nullified, then the influence of dosha will be very less. That's how you should be very careful while analyzing the Mangal Yoga. Now, there are other concepts, most of the time people follow it. If both horoscope have Mangal dosha, they match it. It is up to the wiseness of the astrologer with experience. He will decide whether to be done or not to be done. It is basically left with professionally, when you understand, when you study more than 100 horoscopes of marriages, you will come to know what it is. B.V. Raman very categorically state, before pronouncing any results of Mangala dosha, you should see the cancellation of Mangala dosha. Then you could able to come to the final conclusion. Now, next please. The results, when you see here, most of the time they say the severity of the results will be reduced considerably if Mangal dosha is being cancelled. But however, they say some remnant indications will be there. If Mangal dosha has not been cancelled, the results which I have told you, it basically indicates marital problems such as delays in marriage. शादी नहीं होता है, शादी delay होता है, going on. Then शादी करने के बाद hurdles, so many hurdles will come. Then शादी, once marriage is over, there will be misunderstanding between families, between the two families, or between boy and girl. It will come obstacles, fights, mental and physical traumas, everything will come. This one has to be seen very carefully when this is not cancelled. Most of the time it will be cancelled. If it's not cancelled, either one angle or two angle or three angle. One angle means from Lagna angle it may be cancelled, from Moon angle it may be cancelled, from Venus angle it may be cancelled. But one or two or more three. If all the three angles it is not cancelled, these things you can see very clearly. It is going to be the misunderstandings in the family. Now, one more clue I would like to tell you: when you are analyzing this thing, if this is going to be coinciding with bad Sadhisati, negative Sadhisati, or negative fourth transit of Saturn, negative eighth transit of Saturn, those overlapping here, you can see the more marital problems, more family problems, everything will come. That's the reason while you are matching the horoscope, we always see mismatch of Sadhisati between the two horoscopes. Means if one is running Sadhisati, the other person should not run. In the same way, the lordships also, Mahadasha Lord, Antardasha Lord. If one person is running bad Mahadasha, at least the other person should not run the bad Mahadasha. If these are all coinciding, that marriage is going to be failed. That's why our fundamentally we say same nakshatra don't match. Why the reason? Same nakshatra, same Janma nakshatra means everybody will get Sadhas at the same time. And by and large, your Dashanta Dasha coincides, then they will fight and they will go away. Exceptions are one or two are there, only if the god nakshatra is preceding the bias nakshatra. Sometimes it will happen, provided entire horoscope is very balanced. Otherwise, matching Sadhasati with Mangal Dosa means it is a traumatic drama in the family. I don't want to say the least the negative aspect, but as an astrologer, we should be able to suggest those things. That's why in India, the marriage system is so strong. Our astrologers, throughout either traditional astrologers or known astrologers, will see these the fundamental characters, fundamental principles while they match horoscopes. It's fine. Next one. Cancellation, I've explained to you. Remedies, Mangal dosa cannot be removed completely. It can be reduced by observing certain remedies. I have explained those things. Now, the last subtopic of marriage system, quota system. There, almost most accepted thing has to quota match. That is 36 points. Out of 36 points, one gets 17 points. Normally, is been accepted, provided I have told you the first two considerations are positive. First two considerations are positive means the horoscope should be positive, the longevity has to be there, 7th and 8th also should be very strong. When these two considerations are there, these 17 points is by and large okay. Now when you take same Janma Nakshatra, you get a point, fabulous points. Out of 36 points, you get 32 points. Suddenly somebody sees 32 points, 30 points, the same Janma Nakshatra, acha hai, shadi kar lo. Those type of shadis, those type of marriage will not survive. So one has to be extremely careful. I told you, first the natal horoscope, then longevity, then comes to your 7th and 8th house, then comes to the quotas. I'm not telling you should not see quotas. Quotas has to be seen, but in its descending order, not an ascending order. Okay, next one. So these are the types of quotas: Varna, Vashya, Tara, Yoni, Grahamitra, Ganamitra, Rasi, Bakota, Nadi. Normally, most of the time, Nadi dosha nahi hona chahiye, people will say. Nadi should be two different Nadis. Then Graha Maitri is also there. Then by and large, the quotas will get good number of points. So one has to see each one in its own concept. One has to understand astrologically its importance and try to come to a final conclusion whether what type of combination has to be seen is not the 36 points to 17 points, 12 points. It should be a comprehensive outlook of the entire thing. So this is what I can see here. Then I would like to add here what is the relevance of annual horoscopy while you are doing marriage. I'll just explain. The relevance of annual horoscopy. Annual horoscopy is number one, where you draw a chart like a Prashna chart on the time when sun attains the same degrees as that of your birth. When the birth took place, sun has certain degrees. Sun takes 1 year to travel the entire zodiac. When it takes 1 year, he attains same degrees around the same time, 1 or 2 days before, 1 or 2 days later, same degrees. When sun attains same degrees, you draw a transit chart that is called annual chart. The transits of Venus are something different. The transit chart which we are going to do is something different. Both slightly is one and the same, but interpretation wise it is different. Annual horoscope, when you draw sun attains the same thing, that is the annual horoscope. And while you are doing the annual horoscope, there are 2-3 things very vital in it. One is your annual lot. Who is the annual lot? Annual lot is decided based on your panchadikaris. Panchadikaris, who is stronger, who aspects lagna, he will be decided as a year lot. When the year lot decided, year lot controls that particular year chart. Like headmaster, he controls that entire chart. Means he is going to guide what is going to come. Annual chart draws influence from the natal chart. What is available in the natal chart will come only in the annual chart. The annual chart will not give something different what is not available in the basic chart. So while you are timing the marriage, you should able to see 3 year circle period of Antardasha, which are going to happen. The 3 years annual horoscope you should draw. 3 charts will come before you. In the 3 charts, which year is very favorable for marriage? How do you find out very favorable to marriage? You should see the Panchadikaris mein, the year lord should aspect the 7th house or the Lagna or 7th house for moon. That is number one consideration. Then there should be Hitasala Yoga between Lagna Lord and 7th Lord. Hitasala Yoga means 1 degree attraction between the two, maybe up to 3 degrees, 4 degrees you can take it. If it is more than that, it will be fructifying at the end of the year. Bhavishyat Hitasala बोलता है हम लोग का. But you should see only Hitasala. That Hitasala should not be defunct. Defunct means it should not be aspected by a malefic planet. It should not be aspected conjunct with malefic planets. When you see those things, when it is going to happen, the next consideration, you can see the Punya Saham. If the Punya Saham is very favorable in that particular year, that year is going to be very good for the individual. The last consideration, the Punya Saham Lord, the Vivaha Saham Lord should have a Hitasala Yoga, should have a connection between the two. This much more microscopic analysis of your marriage. When you find in that particular horoscope or that particular 3 years which you have drawn, which year horoscope shows predominantly very strong, that year is going to be the marriage year for the individual. You should check with the female chart also. When you check these two things, you will be very clearly seeing there is a marriage happening between these two horoscopes which you have finalized. That's how annual horoscope is used for timing of the marriage, provided with all other considerations you analyzed it. That's why our Indian Jyotish Shastra is very depth in its knowledge. Lot of techniques are available. With all these techniques, at the end, you are supposed to give a reasonably accurate prediction, especially in Kali Yuga. If you can give an accurate prediction of 3 months and average, you are the best astrologer. I expect all you people will be best astrologers and try to serve the countries, try to serve the society. Thank you very much. If you people have any questions, I will take. Unmute कर
Excuse me, sir.
unmute कर लीजिएगा, unmute कर बात. If anybody want to any questions, I'll ask.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
I'm Hemlata, sir, from Bangalore chapter. Just I want you to repeat the Punya Saham part of it, sir, in the year chart for recommending, for strongness of marriage aspect.
Can you repeat the question? I didn't get the point.
No, you told something about Punya Saham should be strong in that year chart for marriage.
Yes.
That part you repeat it again, sir.
Punya Saham, because there are more than 60 Sahams in the annual horoscope. We don't want to see all these Sahams at one time. The relevant Saham has to be seen in that particular annual horoscope. Normally, Punya Saham will be seen for all years. Punya Saham is like a headmaster who controls all the activities of the school.
Okay.
So, Punya Saham is the Saham which controls all good, bad activities of that particular year.
Okay.
When he controls in a positive way, the other Sahams will fructify. For example, Vivaha Saham has to be fructified. So, Vivaha Saham has to have a relation with Punya Saham.
Okay.
Relation means it may be Hitasala Yoga, it may be aspect, it may be conjunction. All put together, it gives a relation. Once you are looking from all these angles, your prediction will be more accurate to the point where it is going to happen.
So Punya Saham Lord and Vivaha Saham Lord should be somehow associated.
Somehow they should be associated.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Anything else, please?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
सर अपना वीडियो भी ऑन कर लो जरा पता तो लगे कौन बोल रहे हैं.
सर एक मिनट ऑन कर लेता हूँ सर.
पूछिए.
हाँ सर. सर मुझे एक ये क्वेश्चन पूछना था सर. आपने बोला है कि मैरिज जब आप ट्रांसिट ऑफ मून भी देख सकते हैं, लग्ना विद 7th हाउस भी देख सकते हैं और वीनस भी देख सकते हैं बोल रहे हैं. Then how
Yes.
do you see the differentiation? Suppose, I mean, strongness should be seen from Venus or from moon, or everything is equal?
Now when you see when you do a little bit research on 50 or 60 horoscopes, you will come to know what is the gradation, what is its potential. Okay, with my experience, when marriage is going to happen, all will fall in line.
Okay.
If all is not falling in line, somewhere your birth time rectification has to be done.
Okay.
Normally 80 to 90% will fall in line. In my experience, I am telling you 99% principles will fall in line, where I have done a research more than 150 horoscopes, where I took the marriage time and worked reversely back. So
Okay.
when you do that thing, you will come to know that experience will help you in predicting future. Got the point?
Yes, sir. You mean to
All
say?
will fall in line. All will fall in line.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. That means everything will be falling in line. Venus will be
Has to be
aspecting.
there if you are going to have even Gandharva marriage without telling your parents, or co-living, cohabitation. You see Jupiter transit, Venus transit, and Saturn transit. These has to bless 7th house, either from the moon or from Lagna or from Venus. Without blessing of this thing, वो सुख नहीं मिलेगा.
Sir, will it make a difference? I mean, the blessing of Venus, and then what difference it makes from other Lagna or moon, or it will be same
No,
thing?
it will be different, but it has to have the association. Basically, Venus and Jupiter are the best benefits. Wherever they are associated with the aspect, it will give best results. Only thing you need to see whether Mars is going to come, Saturn is going to come, Rahu or other people are coming. It means if they are going to come and influence, there will be some tension in the marriage. That
Sir,
tensions, we should see the planets other than those things. And now when these planets are very positive to the horoscope, happens to be yoga karakas, then tensions will not be there. That also you will have to see. So that's why your Indian astrological system, Jyotishas, is a phenomenal science of sciences. Only thing you need to understand it in a rightful way.
sir, how do you? Sorry, second question: how do you differentiation if Venus is badly placed? So all the marriages, if Venus is badly placed in a horoscope,
Yeah.
so all, I mean, first marriage, second marriage, it will be the same aspect the native will face.
आराम से
Or it will-
चार पांच शादी करेगा, कोई बात नहीं.
No, sir. What my point is that how do you differentiate 7th Lord and Venus as such?
Seventh lord is basically the house owner.
Yes,
The
sir.
marriage owner. His marriage owner is in ill place, means he's in bad company. वो शादी
Okay.
होने के बाद बीबी के साथ सोएगा नहीं.
Sir, but if Venus is well placed,
If Venus is well
Because-
placed, your wife will be beautiful. Your wife will be more adaptable.
but sir, you said 7. I mean, I'm just trying to contradict. If 7th Lord is good and Venus is bad, or either Venus is bad or 7th Lord is good, how do you look at this sort of aspect?
You have to find out in the horoscope what is its natural position. If Venus is placed very badly in the horoscope, forget about 7th house. 7th house को भूल जाइएगा. बीवी तो ऐसे रहेगा, ऐसे ही रहेगा. या husband will be like that, husband will be like that. So you have to accept those things. This has to be seen basically
There is a
the placement.
Please take permission from Anjanelu sir.
Sir ji, sir.
Sir, this is Vedi sir.
Thank you, sir.
वेदी सर.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी, वेदी से पूछिए.
हाँ,
Vedi
नहीं,
sir.
नहीं, जो जनाब सवाल पूछ रहे हैं को रिप्लाई देना चाहता हूँ. From 7th house and 7th lord, you are just looking the wife, and from Venus you are looking the enjoyment, your bhoga.
Yes,
Got the
sir. I
point?
agree. Yes, sir. It is more wider. You are saying.
Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
sir.
Yes.
And sir, I am just telling the 7th house will lead to the wife, to the partner, and Venus will lead to the bhoga, the enjoyment.
Yes.
Yes.
Agreed, sir.
Fully
Agreed.
agreed with Vedi sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. I'm trying to understand because most of the people, Venus is badly placed. Can we suggest for second marriage if the position is good? I mean,
You are unnecessary.
Don't see only one angle, no, you should
No,
see other angles also.
and I'm learning, sir. I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
understand.
good one. It's a nice one. It's excellent, excellent.
You just go to the class and then ask the teacher. This is not the class.
So
Okay, sir.
anybody
Thank you.
else? Any other questions?
I think no more questions, sir.
Brigadier
Sure.
sir,
Thank you,
Aju,
sir.
Brigadier sir,
Pradeep,
Chaturvedi.
welcome, sir. Welcome. Please take over.
Anjali sir, I'm very sorry that I could not hear you. I am hearing you. I could not contribute because I was busy in the official meeting.
Sir, no problem, sir.
It's nice that we have caught you because you are not not being able to be caught by us for long.
I just landed at 3:30, sir. Came to the straight away to your class.
Okay, sir, and I hope so, sir. You will be available in future also for those students because it's a learning part for everyone.
Definitely, sir.
Questions reflect that.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir.
And sir, I think with this we are having a session concluded because it's already long 4 hours there.
Yeah.
And this is a third chain day of the series. 2 more days are left, 2nd and 3rd July. 2nd we have a more 4 speakers, and 3rd July the full day for students. A new experiment being done, and the new thing will be evolved for students. I hope so. It will become a more beneficial for the students' participation also. And we are encouraged, sir, we got around 78 responses from students in 3 categories.
Good, sir. Good,
It will be a healthy exercise. And the first time everybody is clueless, including organizers, what will be the modus operandi. So I said I am an unbiased person. I am doing every meeting, so I am not disclosing to anyone, including my host chapter also. It will be a surprise for everyone. So that
Good,
will be
sir.
exercise on 3rd July.
Good, sir. Good, sir.
चिंतक साहब भी मेरे ख्याल से अवेलेबल हैं. चिंतक साहब.
Chintak sir, हैं sir.
Because sir, I am on the mobile. I cannot see all the faces. So.
Chintak sir.
Chintak साहब,
ये चिंतक अगर अनम्यूट करके कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे तो अच्छा लगेगा सर वहां पर, क्योंकि सभी लोग खुश होंगे वहां. चिंतक अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा आपको. अंकित
अनम्यूट कर दीजिए सर.
अंकित.
Yes, sir.
Can you do it?
Yes.
मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Please stop the live now. जी सर चिंतक साहब.
जी बहुत अच्छा लगा. मैं तो काफी देर से सुन रहा हूँ और कई अच्छे वाणी का अच्छा हुआ. बहुत अंजलि साहब ने तो बहुत अच्छी और बड़ी प्रैक्टिकल बातें समझाई स्टूडेंट्स को. और एक बात बहुत महत्वपूर्ण थी कि इन्होंने ये कहा कि 7.5 जब आती है तो व्यक्ति को और समझदार बनाती है, और ज्यादातर मैरिजेस 7.5 में होती है. मैं पिछले 40 वर्षों से देख रहा हूँ 75% लोगों की मैरिज 7.5 में ही होती है. कभी कभी मजाक में उत्तर भारत में लोग ऐसा कहते हैं कि 7.5 आ गई है, अब मुसीबत शुरू होने वाली है. आप इसको देखेंगे और मैं विद्यार्थी तो इसको भी देख लें. ये बात बिल्कुल सही है कि अक्सर विवाह जो है 7.5 में होता है. वो भी एक प्लस पॉइंट है अगर आप टाइमिंग और मैरिज की टाइमिंग को देख रहे हैं उस समय. और ये निश्चित है शनि बहुत सबसे ज्यादा हिडन ईगो को भी शनि रिप्रेजेंट करता है और समझदारी को भी रिप्रेजेंट करता है. शनि सबसे ज्यादा जो आपका इंटेलिजेंस लेवल है उसको रिप्रेजेंट करता है. इसलिए जब भी चंद्रमा के पास शनि आएगा तो मन को बहुत समझदार बनाएगा. ये निश्चित है. वो परिस्थितियां भी ऐसी होती हैं. 7.5 एक बात मैं इसमें ये जोड़ना चाहता हूँ कि लोग अक्सर कहते हैं कि 7.5 में प्रॉब्लम आती है. मेरा मानना यह है कि अगर जैसे अंजलि साहब का बड़ा पॉजिटिव इसके बारे में थिंकिंग है, मैं ऐसा कहता हूं कि 7.5 में सिचुएशन बदलती है. सिचुएशन की डेफिनेशन अलग है और प्रॉब्लम की अलग है. तो लोग सिचुएशन को प्रॉब्लम मान के डील करने लगते हैं 7.5 में. मुझे लगता है वो तरीका ठीक नहीं है. वो थोड़ा नेगेटिव अप्रोच है. आज के लेक्चर्स में कमलेश का लेक्चर बहुत अच्छा हुआ. उसके बाद चतुर्वेदी जी का लेक्चर, हालांकि समय उनके पास कम था. सबसे अच्छा मुझे लगा विदेश में जो फॉरेन का कॉन्सेप्ट जो है
और इंडिया का जो कॉन्सेप्ट है उसके बारे में बहुत अच्छा कहा, और उनके कहने का तरीका भी बहुत अच्छा था, उनके समझाने का तरीका भी, जिस तरह का उन्होंने अपना ये पीपीटी बनाया था वो भी बहुत अच्छा था। और मुझे लगता है कि उनको और थोड़ा आगे मौका मिलना चाहिए, और बहुत से लोग ऐसे हैं जिनको थोड़ा और अगर मौका मिलता तो बहुत अच्छा होता। अंजलिनु साहब के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन था उनका, सभी लोगों का बहुत अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन था। और मुझे लगता है कि इस तरीके से अगर ये चतुर्वेदी जी आगे भी रखेंगे तो नॉलेज शेयरिंग इससे बहुत अच्छी होती है, और मुझे भी बहुत इससे फायदा हुआ है। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सर। सर थैंक यू सर। एंड आज का दिन चूंकि फैकल्टी मेंबर की डेडिकेटेड था, तो हम लोग सब जो है बाकी वरिष्ठ लोग तो बोलते रहते हैं, उनको चांस नहीं मिलता है इन लोगों को। ऐसे छिपे हुए हीरे आईकाश में वो बाहर आए निकल के, ज्यादा उम्मीद रहेगी। वो एक प्रयास सफल होने की उम्मीद है सर। क्या
बहुत अच्छा।
ओके ब्रिगेड साहब, अंकल साहब समाप्त करें हम लोग। 2 तारीख को मिलते हैं। जी सर।
I must thank everybody, particularly Engineer sir, Ramesh Chintak sir, Rohit Vedi sir, कि पूरा का पूरा टाइम ये अटेंड किए हैं, और अंजलि सर तो इतना बिजी शेड्यूल से निकल के इन्होंने ये क्लास ज्वाइन किया। वी आर इमेंसली ग्रेटफुल टू यू ऑल सर। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर।
थैंक यू सर। Thank you everyone. Thank you. Host now can end the meeting. Host.
Thank you sir.